तो कहानी कुछ इस प्रकार है। एक दिन संबित पात्रा और कन्हैया कुमार डिबेट करने न्यूज 18 की चौपाल पर पहुंचे। The topic of debate was rewriting of Indian history, and what could have been a very interesting debate turned into a yelling match, just like that.
देखिए मोदी मोदी करके आप ओएनजीसी के डायरेक्टर बन गए हैं, होशियारी वहाँ कीजिएगा, लेकिन हमको आप जवाब दीजिए, हम सवाल आपसे पूछ रहे हैं।
अरे भैया ओएनजीसी के डायरेक्टर बने हैं, आपकी तरह चाइना का पैसा तो नहीं खाते।
Debate that goes on for more than 45 minutes, nothing is really said, nothing is understood, while the debaters walk away with media exposure and a complimentary dinner. It's a yelling match like many others, and the audience loses. और ये सिर्फ संबित पात्रा, प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी और कन्हैया कुमार की हरकतें नहीं हैं. This seems to be happening regularly on our daily news.
चाय की दुकान पे नहीं खड़े।
तुम्हें बात नहीं सुननी तो बुलाए मत करो।
Entertainment के साथ competition करते करते our news channels have embraced many tactics ranging from annoying to downright stupid.
No, my dear friend, मैं तुम्हें भड़वा कहता हूँ, दलाल कहता हूँ, और बताओ.
And it used to bother me a lot as to what started the decline of news, the decline of discourse and civility. And I think I found an answer to this by observing a string of events in the history of Indian television going back to early to mid 2000s. 2001 से 2005 के बीच में, when incidents such as Delhi's Monkey Man, Rakhi Sawant and Mika's Kiss, and shows like Roadies and Big Boss were given an insane amount of footage, जनता और न्यूज़ दोनों ने अपने दिमाग को साइड में रख के एंटरटेन होने की कसम खा ली. I think this is also the time when news channels started embracing kayfabe. Wait, what? What is kayfabe? Well, this is kayfabe. Do you see it yet? This. Kayfabe comes from the world of wrestling. In simple terms, it means a bunch of actors enacting a storyline as if it was real and not breaking character. Just like WWF or WWE. In a very short essay, American mathematician and economist Eric Weinstein talks about the phenomenon of kayfabe as a concept whose understanding will help us understand the world around us even better. Kayfabe is the act of a bunch of professionals playing out their false rivalry in front of an audience like ourselves that is now ready to believe whatever they say, even when they know they are lying. In the simplest of terms,
ये बहनचोद सारे मिलके हमको पागल बना रहे हैं मादरचोद के बच्चे.
And how does something from WWF affect our daily lives? Now, this is where it gets really interesting. From what we know in more than one country, a simple agreed upon protocol is being followed by members of rival parties and news channels to keep up the audiences and to keep them hooked. It's almost like fast food version of information to keep you coming back. Post Donald Trump's election, channels like Wisecrack and publications like this have already warned of reality TV culture going into the politics. Here's another example. Before 2016, CNN was struggling to provide entertaining content, and along came Donald Trump, the presidential candidate. A New York Times article explained how CNN, while being opposed to Donald Trump, actually gave him a huge advantage by 24/7 coverage. It's important to note that CNN in 2016 was being run by a guy called Jeff Zucker, who's also famous for hiring Donald Trump for the show The Apprentice, the show that made Donald Trump a household name. So basically, the president of CNN was hanging out with the presidential candidate. So what happened next? CNN's ratings went up. The facade of CNN being critical of Donald Trump worked out for the channel as well as the presidential candidate, and everybody won except perhaps the United States of America. Well, the way a lot of us Indians look at it, the news media is now a huge wrestling ring with a lot of scripted actors who are invited for one and only one purpose: entertainment. It's not really their fault. When the overall sound really goes up, everybody has to dial the volume up too, but at the cost of legitimate information. They have to keep up the kayfabe. And this is also a part of Eric Weinstein's essay. He says, because professional wrestling is simulated sport, all competitors who face each other in the ring are actually close collaborators who must form a closed system, sealed against outsiders. And you know who the outsider is in this case? It's you and me. This is exactly how you would expect the actors in a show like Big Boss to behave, or in any fake reality TV based show. These reality shows are usually harmless entertainment, but it gets really bad when things start getting into politics. When we know that we are being lied to and we are still cool about it because it's fun to watch and read, it's when shit gets really serious. Media and politicians win and public loses. Everything is not entertainment. And so what's the point of all this? Well, one can believe that the situation is hopeless and that maybe we are all made fun of, whether we lean left or right or center, and maybe the situation is hopeless. Deceiving ourselves is easy and somewhat fun. More important than that, it is comforting when someone speaks our language on television or internet. That's our inherent tribalism speaking out. But maybe, just maybe, if we could know how the information gets doctored, know how electoral issues are manipulated to keep us hooked, we will stand a chance to break through the facade and look at the real issues. And maybe the audience will break down the kayfabe themselves. As for the political party spokesman, hopefully they'll stop doing this.
आप पाकिस्तानी है क्या? आप पाकिस्तानी है क्या? आप पाकिस्तानी